We're good. Go
And I
ahead.
don't like doing intros, so we're just going to start because it feels cheesy.
Hard cut.
Hi, welcome. You know, I'm not doing that. Okay.
Well, that's recorded, so you can use it if you want.
What? Oh,
That's
great.
recorded.
Okay, good. Okay, so where did the decision to embark on this fading west journey come from?
Kind of been talking about it for years. We always dreamed about making a film where we get to pick our favorite spots in the world to surf and book shows, and I don't think we realized truly what we were getting into. I mean, we don't do anything halfway in this band, and so we ended up spending 2 years making the thing, and it's much more than just a surf film. It really captures the highs and lows of the journey that we've been on, and the brotherhood, and I think it turned out completely different than maybe we had anticipated, in a good way.
That was one of the questions too. Like, how did it change? How did the film possibly change from your beginning idea of it and then the end product? Like, did you have something else in mind when you started, and then it's like, well, this was not what we planned?
Yeah, absolutely. It changed so much because we first started, we thought we'd tell the band's history. We thought it'd just be kind of, maybe that would be the deepest moments of the movie. And then the travel part would just be this fun, chasing waves and songs around the globe kind of thing. And then the actual story that unfolded in our travels kind of overtook the backstory, so we ended up scratching that entirely.
So I remember your mom telling me that the director came and like organized all her photos and stuff for you guys. And, like, got them all, you know, set and organized, and then they didn't even use anything.
She was very excited about the fact that
It was
came
all
and
done.
organized all her stuff.
It was all taken care of for her.
Yeah.
Well, we did set out, you know, to capture these incredible opportunities we have to surf and play music in exotic locations. You know, we've been doing that for years. Every time we're like, gosh, I wish we could share this with people. This is amazing. We get to do this. You know, we find ourselves in the middle of Indonesia or Africa, and it's like, gosh, this is a cool. Who does this? This is, you know, such a privilege to capture that. But there was no script for the film, so it really took on a life of its own once we got out on the road. And it was tough. Like, the first trip was Australia, and pretty much everything went wrong that could go wrong. You know, there's a learning curve anyway, just having cameras around.
Right.
And we didn't get good waves, and the shows were crazy, and all kinds of drama went on, you know, just in the first 2 weeks of filming on the road. We're looking at each other going, what have we gotten into?
Yeah, it felt
This
like
is
we made a
crazy.
huge mistake.
It's one of those things where you thought, well, let's back out of this, or like, was that ever a thought? Like, maybe we should just stop when we're behind already?
Not seriously, but I mean, there are days when you're kind of going like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. But
Some people are good in front of the camera. Like, I think Drew is naturally just,
yeah,
he kind of comes alive when somebody's watching, and I kind of like, I have to really try to do that. And so the whole movie, I'm like, what are we doing? Why is that camera on? I wish I could just hang out and not think about it, you know?
Right. Does it feel weird watching yourself back? Do you feel like that's really you, or is it like a portrayal of you?
I don't think anyone is themselves.
No.
There's no such thing as reality TV. So like, it's a close approximation, but the moment you press record, it's like,
Everyone like
yeah,
talks differently.
yeah,
you talk
totally.
differently. You sound
Yeah.
differently. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I think I got something in my teeth. Did that come out weird? Do I say that? Do I normally say that? You know, you're second guessing yourself rather than. But I think it's one of the physical laws that the moment something is studied or observed, that you fundamentally change what you're studying by it. So that camera right there, it's changing everything just by its presence.
I feel it, but I'm not going to look at it.
Yeah, ignore it.
Don't break the fourth wall. You know, this is a TV show.
I do think there were moments, especially the really heavy moments, where you just kind of don't care about the cameras because what's happening is real and kind of makes everything else seem ridiculous. And I think those are the moments where real life was really captured. And fortunately, we had a year to edit the thing, and we had just a ridiculous amount of footage, hours and hours and hours and hours. And so out of that, we were able to really mine the moments that were real, and where we were able to kind of let the cameras drift into the background and be ourselves. And I think, some way or another, it actually comes through in the film. That's really us. We were able to kind of learn how to forget about the cameras.
Oh, thanks.
We're not getting background music.
Okay, what was your family's reaction when you told them that you were making the film?
Try that.
Now we got, okay, there we go. Should I repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your family's reaction when you told them that you were making a movie?
I think the only big reaction was more of a discussion as to how much we want to show and how much we want to include our families. We've always been pretty private. I think we're pretty private people. But we wanted this to be a really honest, personal film. And so I think we all had a lot of internal discussions as to what is everyone's comfort level, and it probably looks different for everyone. For me, it was kind of an exciting phase because my son, who's now 8 years old, is suddenly at a place where he's really excited about being along for the journey, and is really excited about being in Dad's film, and so that was a really neat thing to share with him, whereas I'm naturally really protective and trying to keep him kind of away from the craziness of Switchfoot, and it was fun to be able to open that door and say, come on in, let's make this film together. And I think that was the same for my experience in bringing my daughter in as well.
Anyone else anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, we're all at various places and have different understandings of the way things should go down. And I think the good thing is that everyone had a common respect for wherever anyone else wanted to draw the line, And, there's no right or wrong. It's just what you're comfortable with. And so, I mean, my wife and I, chose to be a lot more reticent in how much we showed our family, just because it feels like there's already so much out there that's for better, for worse, that people know, and I want to have a piece of something that's for myself,
Right.
And so, but at the same time, what Tim and Chad and Drew and Jerome, wherever they want to draw that line, is respected,
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people have asked this, so we kind of talked about it a couple days ago, but I have to ask again. Is there going to be a score for the film? With music or songs that were cut out? Like, a soundtrack or a deluxe edition with cut songs? Here. Are you sure about this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an estimated time when it'll come out?
No.
That's what I expected. Okay, I knew you
No,
were going to say that.
we do actually.
Yeah.
We're coming out with a physical version of the film sometime around next Christmas, maybe next fall. So we're like a year away from that, and we'd like to have some of those songs that didn't make the album but are in the film as a part of that, like a companion
Right.
CD, which I think would be really fun.
Well, a lot of people want it, because people talk about the fact that you sing lead in one of the songs, and everyone really wants to seem to hear that. So I hope that comes out.
It's a great song.
Yeah, I want to hear
Yeah, I want to hear it.
it came out great.
The part that I heard in the film sounds fantastic. Here's kind of an interesting question. The person just said, why? Why show people you barely know an intimate and personal view into your lives? What are you trying to achieve, and why do you care?
Well, I think that has to do with what we were talking about, and the decision to share our family life on screen. It's something you have to really consider, because you're giving up that piece of your life that isn't public. And for me and my wife, the discussion was, we've been through so much. and learned so much over the years, and trying to raise a family and me be in a band, and I hope that the honesty somehow relates to other people that deal with similar, challenges or struggles, and hopefully inspires and encourages other people.
For me, it was, I love stories, and you can only say so much in a pop song, and so here's a chance to actually tell a bigger story, and to actually bring people along for a journey. And my favorite concerts are always the ones that you feel like you've traveled somewhere. You feel like at the end of the night you walk out of the room and you think,
You're a little drained. You're just like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I
it's this cathartic
experienced something.
release.
Yeah.
We went through that together.
Yeah.
All of us are fundamentally changed by what happened. And my favorite movies, I could say the same thing about. And so we thought, what an incredible chance to actually to do that, to bring people around the world with us, and kind of talk about issues of faith and doubt, and some of the stuff that's behind the songs that is harder to put into words and easier to just actually show it.
I think that question's a really good one, because you could take out film and insert music in that place. Why do we sing these songs that are so deeply personal to a bunch of strangers every night? And I think for us, we've always been very open and honest through our songs, many times expressing the sentiment that we don't have it all figured out. Here's where our hope is, here's where our doubt is, here's where our questions lie. And I think the moment you start that dialogue, and music and film are both great places to express those things and those ideas. And I think we're better for it when we ask those big questions and challenge each other.
A couple of people asked this as well. A lot of films have director and cast commentary tracks that can be played over the film, where they talk about filmmaking process and give anecdotes about making the film. Will you guys be recording an audio commentary?
Yes.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it'd be funny to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff, like what was really going on
Yeah.
here was.
Right.
Yeah, it looks this way, but that's not what happened.
Our crew was saying that they wanted to do it too, where a
Oh,
lot of
that'd be
times in the
good.
scenes they're like just out of frame.
Yeah.
And their perspective is completely different than ours too.
It would be funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because a lot of our favorite things of the movie end up getting cut. Some of the funniest moments, some of the most poignant moments that just didn't quite line up with the plot. Like, for example, this amazing footage we have of John Perkins in
It's
Jackson.
just like a short clip in the movie.
Yeah, it ends up just being him talking for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, but there's an entire. We went down and filmed that time that we played the benefit concert. We got all this incredible footage of him and the Jackson Foundation and the Perkins Foundation in Jackson and all this stuff, and it was like, oh, this is amazing, this is incredible, this is gonna be so good, and then it didn't fit the movie, and so there's a lot of that footage that I'm hoping will come out maybe
Bonus content.
next year with the physical
Yeah.
release.